Hey guys, if you're thinking of starting to take creatine regularly, I highly recommend that you watch this video to the end. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 potential health risks of having too much creatine, in my opinion. So I just started taking creatine about a week ago, and before I ordered this creatine on Amazon, I went on and watched tons of videos on YouTube and researched on the web trying to figure out, is creatine safe? I've heard of a lot of people in high school and college taking creatine to bulk up their muscles, but I just wonder, what are the negative side effects? I mean, even water has negative side effects if you have too much. My brother once had 10 glasses of water in a row, and he almost felt like he had to go to the ER because it flushed out his electrolytes or something. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 potential dangers or health risks of taking too much creatine, in my opinion. So number 1, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that if you have too much creatine, it could contribute to kidney problems. There was a 2007 report that showed several small studies linking creatine with kidney disease. When I was about to start taking creatine, I asked 4 of my friends, and they all had taken creatine at some point. 3 of them were still taking creatine. And I went around the circle and I just kind of asked them, what was your experience with creatine? And one of them, right off the bat, said, I don't do creatine anymore. I just try to work out and grow my muscles the normal way. But when I was taking creatine, I got a kidney stone, and it was really painful, so I stopped taking creatine. And so one thing you'll hear people warn you about is if you're taking creatine, it's very important to stay hydrated, to drink plenty of water, because your muscles are absorbing and taking in a lot more water when you're taking creatine, and you need to take in extra water so you don't get dehydrated and get kidney stones. So I looked online, it looks like there's about 3 million doctor visits in the US per year for kidney stones, and about 500,000 visits per year to the ER for kidney stones. So if you think you have any predisposition for kidney stones, if you have any family members who have had it or whatever, it's very important to drink plenty of water when you're taking creatine, else it might mess up your kidneys, or it might even give you kidney stones. The second potential health risk of taking too much creatine, in my opinion, is that your body could become too dependent on it. So I guess your body naturally creates creatine, and you consume creatine. When you eat things like tuna and fish, these foods that are high in creatine, it's a very natural substance, but if you take in too much orally, your body might not be able to produce or manufacture as much creatine on its own, and it could become kind of dependent on it. I'm not aware of any studies that say that there's a long-term irreversible impact on your ability to create creatine, but it does sound like there is some evidence that points to this idea that if you have too much ingested internally, that your body doesn't need to produce its own creatine as much, and it could decrease its production. I have heard if you get off creatine, your body could probably ramp up that production again, but something to be aware of. And also, beyond the physical potential dependency as far as the ability to produce creatine, anecdotally talking with my friend, one of my friends, he's very athletic, playing sports all the time, and he said that he loves creatine. He loves how it makes his body feel. But he does feel like he's kind of dependent on it now. He's used it so often playing sports, even at a college level, that he just feels like, he's got to keep buying the supplement and using the supplement if he wants to keep feeling like he's able to play at his, performance max. The flip side of all the benefits of creatine, of, having more muscular strength, making you feel bigger and stronger and more confident, maybe giving you some more energy. On the flip side, your body, if you stop taking creatine, is probably going to stop feeling all those benefits. And so there's, I guess, a trade-off if you want to feel kind of dependent on creatine in order to continue to feel that way. And creatine costs quite a bit of money. I think this costed $50 or something for a little bag. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, when talking about dependency, I will say that I don't think there's anything addictive about creatine at all that I'm aware of. It's a natural substance that's in food that you already consume. Your body already creates it. I haven't felt any degree of need to take it. I don't feel any physical dependency in that kind of a way. The third potential health risk, in my opinion, could be potential muscle tearing or injuries. Now, I don't have any scientific reports to back up this claim, but other than just what makes sense in my mind, so I recently watched a video. It was a compilation of people tearing their biceps. They were just curling weight like this, and then, their bicep would pop off the bone, it would tear, and their muscle would seize up towards their shoulder. It was pretty graphic and kind of not very fun to watch, but I was just wondering, I'm like, man, they weren't even, some of those people weren't really even lifting that heavy of weights, and they had really big poofy muscles, and I imagine a lot of those people were probably on creatine. Anyway, it got me thinking, your body was created and designed to grow naturally in an incredible balanced way. And I think if you take creatine and it inflates your muscles, kind of like an inflated balloon, you know, if you have an inflated balloon, it's not going to be able to withstand as much wear and tear. There's going to be more pressure on certain parts of the balloon. And I kind of feel like it could be that way with your muscles, where, you know, say you have a certain amount of pressure on your tendon that your muscle typically has, but then you say you make your muscle twice as large, kind of by adding a bunch of water fluids. And then you pair that with lifting weights that are, you know, 130% what you normally lift. I just could see there being potential for some sort of physical injuries. So I could see that being a potential health risk. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you these concerns, because in a lot of videos you watch online, people don't really mention potential health risks. They just kind of talk about the benefits of creatine. And I don't think that you should necessarily not take creatine. You know, that's up to you and your doctor to decide whether or not that's a good thing for you. But I do think it's good to be aware that, like with any good thing, any good supplement, there could be some potential for negative health effects. I personally think the benefits of creatine outweigh the cons. I just feel like it's something that you probably ought to do in moderation, and maybe not take it every single day, and maybe not take a very large dosage, but maybe more take it like a vitamin or a supplement. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.